as well. What a terrific race this is.
Huntington with the miss. He scored goal!
This is their house. This is their stage. It's a stage they have dominated in recent years.
It was Britain in the stars!
This is the Commentators Podcast. My name is Ricardo Chambers.
And of course, he's hanging alongside Donald Oliver.
Yeah, aren't you 50% vaccinated today?
Still am, yes, still am.
Okay, that's good. Still not talking about that. Today we're talking about a talented young Jamaican female sprinter.
Yeah, what, she's just 20 years old, right?
Yeah, she is. She briefly held Jamaican under-20 records at 60 and 100 meters in 2019, but on both occasions lost them to, I'll give you one guess.
I'm going to go with Brianna Williams for 600, Alex.
You cheated.
Sorry.
You saw that. You cheated.
Okay.
You shouldn't cheat.
You know what, she has progressed since then, though, and at 7.11 seconds is the 8th fastest Jamaican woman over 60 meters, and she's hoping to become the 15th Jamaican woman to break 11 seconds at 100 meters this outdoor campaign.
Yeah, doesn't sound bad. Fingers crossed. And there is the small matter of making Jamaica's Olympic team.
Just
and
a
if
small
she
matter.
does, a tad. Yeah, if she does, it would be her first time representing Jamaica.
Can you imagine that? Because as good as she was as a junior, she didn't compete for the country at Carifta, nor the World Under 18s, nor the World Under 20s as well.
Yeah, we're talking about the former darling of Alpha Athletics, now the pride of Norfolk University in the United States.
What?
I hear you, Donald. I absolutely hate you. You know that's the correct pronunciation, right?
It is. But
You're so immature.
But every single time I hear it, I just get absolutely giddy.
Can you think of any other word?
Oh yeah, the racetrack in America called Suffolk Downs is one that comes to mind readily.
You said that quickly.
I did, very quickly. It still makes me uncomfortable.
Not as uncomfortable as it makes me, clearly. You seem to revel in the idea.
Because I can't get sued or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? Nobody can look at me and say, okay, you said a swear word and come off the air.
Wow. Just wow. Anyhow, let's get back to what we really want to talk about.
Really?
Yes.
Because I didn't give a downs.
We really want to talk about Kiara Grant. And guess what? We do have Kiara Grant. But before we welcome her, Donald, how much do you remember about Kiara Grant?
Not a lot, actually. Okay, no, I'm kidding. But one thing I can say, though, I can't remember how she sounded as an athlete because she didn't give a lot of interviews.
Yeah.
I knew that
she was so young.
She was tiny, quick. Yeah. Had the class 3 record at girls' stamps.
She won class 4.
Class 4?
Yeah.
She didn't break the class 3 record?
No. She actually lost her first year of class 3 to Kimon Shaw. And then I think her second year she was injured and either did not compete or competed, I think, just in the heats and didn't make progress because of the injury.
But she really did blaze on to the scene that first year. And, you know, I looked at her, realized that she was going to be special. Of course,
you did?
Yeah, of course. I think everybody did because of how, one, she broke the record and the distance which she actually won that final.
I just remember when she was in class 4, right? And she won the sprint double in class 4. A lot of individuals were calling her Little Shelley. And that was because of how quickly she left those blocks and how she would separate from the field quite early. So she was a super starter from that point. Anyhow, I think we're tired of hearing what you think about her.
And you as well, Ricardo.
Yeah, so we're just going to hear what she thinks about herself. Kiara Grant, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the Commentators Podcast. First of all, how are you doing? And how do you pronounce the name of your school?
Really?
Good afternoon. I see y'all got a lot of jokes. First of all, it's Norfolk State University.
That's such an American pronunciation.
We prefer the British.
Norfolk State University. I don't know how else y'all want me to say it.
All right, we agree with y'all folks down there in America.
Kiara, let's go back first of all to when you left Jamaica, because you were about midway through your high school career, your champs career, when you left Jamaica. Can you take us back to how all of that happened and the point at which you departed?
As y'all previously said, class 3, I did compete my first year of class 3, but my second year I was injured. And then because my sister is already in the States, you know, she sent for me, and then we just went and we chose a few colleges. So I actually had a head start to college because I didn't even do my last year in I didn't do sixth form in high school. So I actually started college early. So when I started college, everyone was like, oh, you're just 17. Oh, you're a freshman. You're such a freshman. So it's a lot of challenges that I had to go through with that.
So when you left Jamaica and went to the United States, you didn't complete high school there at all? You went directly to university?
Yes, I went straight into college.
What was your mindset in terms of how you were going to treat track and field? Did you almost just use it as, okay, a means of getting a scholarship, or is it that you have had a long-term goal in mind with track and field?
Well, I think it started out because, you know, being young and stuff, I think it started out as just a fun thing to do with sports day. And then over time, when I realized, you know, I might be good at this, I'm having records my first year in class 4, you know, I got excited because I won the double. And then, you know, I started to take it more serious and serious. So over time, I just started making goals and I started progressing. And I mean, my sister, she was previously running track also at the University of Maryland. And, you know, she gave me advice. She told me, you can take this so far. You can make money from this sport. You just, you know, got to stay focused. It's a lot of things you can get from this sport. So I think over time, I just started making my goals. And so far, you know, I'm on track. Like,
were you ever hesitant in your transition from Jamaica to the States?
Definitely, because I feel like you're going into, first of all, you're going into a whole new state. It's different weather, it's different people you're going to meet. It's a whole new track family, whole new coaching staff. So I feel like I was hesitant at first, especially with the schoolwork. It's just like, wow, you know, fifth form was kind of challenging for me. I was like, the work is going to get harder. So I feel like, you know, over time, I just adjusted, and it's just pretty normal for me right now.
Kiara, I know a number of Jamaicans will be listening to this interview and they'll be absolutely shell-shocked with how you have come out of your shell. In your opinion, why were you once so shy before, and how have you been able to blossom?
I think I never had, you know, so much spotlight on me before, but like I said, after doing good over time, it's just like, you just get used to it. Like you're used to being approached. You're used to a lot of interviews. Yeah, I think over time you'll just, you know, get over it.
I have to take you back to your class 4 year. I don't know if you remember us having a few encounters. The first of them was when I tried to interview you for the very first time after one of the development meets, and you just did not want to say anything. And I think it was your mom and your dad as well who were both there, and they kind of convinced you to do the interview, and then you did that one, and maybe one after. And then you went to champs. And please tell me if you remember this one. You went to champs, and I think it was Keon Rayner who was interviewing you after one of your wins. And you just stood there and looked at him and said absolutely nothing.
I think I have an idea of what you're talking about. But like I said, I feel like, you know, being in college, you grow so much. You have different experiences with things. It's life. And I feel like, you know, being 20, there's so much more that's ahead of me that I just feel like, you know, it's just about time I go out there, be more approachable, be more heads-on to things, and just be talkative.
Well, that you surely are now. Let's talk a little bit about your development. And I want to go back specifically to 2019. Because in 2019, for 100 meters, you had run 11.04. We're going to speak about the under 20 records in a little while at both 60 and 100 meters. But then you did not come to the National Senior Championships that year. Let me start by asking you why not? Because it seemed, as far as everyone was concerned, that you were in the type of shape to at least make the relay squad.
Yes, I was actually disappointed as well. But as mentioned before, I'm a college student and I just had a lot of priorities. Track is a priority, but also my academics. And I just had to, there was classes I couldn't miss, exams that I had to take. And, the back and forth from Jamaica to the States, I don't think it was just going to work out. So it's more of my academics that was keeping me here. But I do feel like, I was in shape to really compete against the rest of the females.
How tough a decision was that for you not to come?
I would just say I cried a little bit because I was like, I know a lot of people really wanted to come out and see, this race because it was just a lot of good talent in the race. And I just feel like, I was just disappointed and I was just sad. So I feel like I took it a little bit hard, but, I know there was other opportunities. So I just moved past it.
I am pretty sure I know the answer to this one already based on what you have said, because since you left Jamaica, you've not been back here to compete. You haven't been on a junior team. You were not here in 2019 either, as you pointed out. And a couple weeks ago, a friend of mine actually wondered if you were interested in representing Jamaica, in competing for Jamaica, because you've been doing so well at the collegiate level, but you haven't been back here to compete at any of the trials, junior or senior. So put those fears to rest.
First of all, I've been so homesick. It's been 3 to 4 years. So yes, I actually do want to come back to Jamaica. But again, it's just me being in college. And I know, that's probably not an excuse, but trust me, with my major, it's just really a lot of work. But my aim this year is, to get good times outdoor. And I definitely will be coming down for the Olympic trials. That's my main goal for this year.
What's your major?
Computer science.
Oh, gosh. Ooh. Wow. How many years do you have left?
This is actually my final year. I got like 5 more classes left to take.
And after college, what's the plan?
Well, after college is to just get on a good contract and just start making some good money. And, if that doesn't work out, I'll use my degree to go straight into flight school because I want to become an airline pilot.
Okay. Are you planning, if you don't go into flight school and if everything is working out as you're seeing it, would you train in Jamaica or would you stay in the United States?
It depends on, the whole, I think it would depend on my just coaching, whoever I decide to go with. So I can't make that decision right now.
Have you been approached?
Yes, I have.
I would approach her if I were a coach.
I have, but there's not much to say with that one.
All right, fine. No, fully understand. What do you think your transition will be like, though? I mean, based on, I don't know, what you've heard from your older sister or athletes around you who are making that transition to the senior level as well. What are your thoughts on it?
So far, the workouts are hard, you have a goal and it's just like you got to work twice as hard. So I feel like right now I'm healthy. I think my biggest thing right now is just my mental, just getting it right. And I feel like, once I get that, it should have been fixed, but you have your days where, you just want to give up. So I feel like working on that, I'll just be, just good. Like, I'll be straight.
There are a number of young athletes coming up, especially from the United States. One name that stands out to me is Kiara Richardson. She's just a year older than you are, and she's clocking these incredible times. Personally, when you see her, what goes through your mind?
Kiara she got some talent. I feel like now that she has went pro, she got, the good resources. She got all types of stuff to make her go fast. So I feel like looking at, like you said, her age and my age is not much of a difference. So if she can do it, I feel like, with the right training, me getting my mental straight, I'm off to those times as well.
Yeah. Are you one of those athletes who set targets in terms of how fast you want to run in a particular season? And if you are, let's talk about the 2021 season. You're already at 11:04. Can we expect sub-11 type performances coming from Kiara Grant this year?
Definitely. I feel like setting little goals, it helps you to stay focused. It helps you to stay on track. So for my 100 this year, I wanted to open with 10:9 actually, but
Ooh.
I've just done one track meet so far. So my little goals this year is for at least to hit 10:9, 10:8, and for the 200, it'll be 22:8, 22:9.
Yeah, interesting that you say 22:8, 22:9 for the 200 meters, right? Because it's not an exact science, but if you're going to go 10:8, 10:9 for the 100, then you'll at least expect a 22:5 for the 200. And I know that you don't necessarily like that 200 from high school. So at this stage of your development, how seriously do you take it?
That's a great question because I feel like with the 200, it's just like I have been doing a lot of background training, but again, it's my mental. It's just like there's a lot of things I got to fix in the 200. So I know my PR is 23:1. So I'm just trying to take little baby steps right now. And I know, I have to move past that stage, but I feel like because my PR is 23:1 right now, I'm just going to go with at least 22:8.
Yeah. I want to backtrack a little bit to when you left Jamaica. At that time, were you ever concerned that you were going to be leaving the limelight of champs behind? Because so many young athletes struggle to leave the champ spotlight and of course the glory that comes with winning at champs. But you were able to do that. Were you ever concerned?
Not at all, because I always believed in myself. And like I said, with my sister having my back, she's been there and done that. She helped me to get on a good program because she knew my current coach right now. She knew him. He's had plenty of athletes that's been good. So I feel like, I had to go somewhere where the training is working best for me. It's not just about, the top schools or, the top coaches. It's just the right program for you and who is willing to be patient and work with you. So, he's been very patient with me. And I feel like, that's been helping me go a long way with this track and field.
Yeah, given that you did it and you left high school early and started university early, is it something you would encourage more young Jamaican athletes to do?
I would just say, just take a risk because, I didn't know what to expect, but I just, I left the country, went here, got into college, and so far I've been doing good. My grace has been doing good. My track and field has been great, and I just feel like you just got to take risks.
What was your biggest challenge, though, in the transition?
What was my biggest challenge?
Yeah.
I would just say just the culture. Like, I'm used to something, and then I came over here. It's just totally different. The people, the weather, the food, the training. I came here, I was just throwing up. I had 8 250s. I was just going crazy. It was just a whole transition. I had to just adapt and adjust to everything here.
Yeah. Why did you not come back for any of the junior teams? I think we got the explanation for 2019, but before that?
I'm not sure. I just think, me and my coach was just focused because when I came here, I was doing a little bit of training. I feel like I think I was injured. I was injured my freshman year too. I had a groin problem. And then, I had to sit out some time. I had to sit out my indoors. So I feel like, he was working on getting me back healthy. So we had to just stay here and just do a lot of strength work, a lot of background work so I could be prepared for, future workouts, future competitions.
Okay, yeah.
I know that in Jamaica there's difficulty for girls to better their times as they go up in class. So I know that would be an issue we can use examples of those who have fallen off after they've passed class 2 or whatever, and then they don't make that transition to the senior level. Do you think that because you made that transition overseas, that the transition to the senior level could be a little bit easier for you, or at the very least it's different because you didn't have to go through the pressure of a champs in class 1, and that your goal was obviously to go through college, but to still progress in track and field?
I feel like it would not be such a smooth transition because, of course, once you hit different levels, it just gets harder and harder. And, like I said, I'm already battling with my mentor right now. So I would definitely have to get it together. I feel like, you have to be, what's that word? You have to be true to your diet. You have to have a nice diet. It's just like, you just have to have a plan on how to go about things. And I feel like that's just the way to actually make a smooth transition. But I feel like, coming to the States, I was running with, because they don't do it back in Jamaica like you run with classes. You run with, different age groups. So I feel like I was running against senior. I was a freshman. I was running against senior. And, I beat some of them. So I feel like, it's just all about you and how you prepare yourself going into the next level. I feel like that has a lot to do with if it'll be a smooth or rough transition, if it'll be difficult.
It's interesting that in this 20-minute conversation so far, you've said the word mental quite a number of times. And so I have to pick up on that now. What is it about your mental state that you are so concerned about?
Oh, it's just, getting on the next level. It's just like sometimes you're battling in your head. Like you see these these extremely fast times. Let us just go back to Shikari. You see 10-7 and, I opened my season with 11-2. And I'm like, I should have, if she can open her season like that, I prepared well. So I should have opened my season, a little bit faster. So I feel like, it's just like you want to do better. And it's just like sometimes you're just like, even for, I'm not straying away, but for the workout, it's like I'll go there and I'll have like, say I'll have three 300s and then I'll make the time for one. And then other two, it's just like, I tell myself I'm tired, but it's just like, I don't like over distance. So I feel like I just got to be prepared. I just got to get out of my head and just put in some more work to just be mentally ready.
Yeah.
Just mentally ready to compete and get through my workouts with, efficient training.
Yeah. Getting into your own head, do you think that extends to any of the big finals you've been in? I guess namely the NCAA finals, both indoors and out?
I'm not, because when it comes to times like that, I'm ready. It's just, the preparation. When I get on that line, yes, I have anxiety and stuff, but, once that gun goes off, I'm ready. I just think with the NCs, I don't know. I had a little bit of growing problem, and I just feel like I just need to execute that race better. But I mean, in third place, I'm happy. I'm satisfied. But when I get on that line, I'm ready to compete. But it's just my preparation, I need to be mentally ready for.
And what you just spoke about was the NCAA indoors this year. By the way, won by another Jamaican, Kemba Nelson, another young talent. What are your thoughts on her just coming into the NCAA system and able to win right away?
I've never met Kemba, but she proved that, because I think she was on number 3 on the list, and it goes to show, you can be at any position, and once that final hits, it's just who is the best on that day. And I respect her talent, and I just feel like she's just a good athlete.
Yeah, well, she sure is. And just one more. NCAA outdoors, how big is that one on your agenda this year?
Oh, well, it's pretty big, because those times for me out there will determine, how I will be placed. Well, I don't want to say that, but I feel like, it'll give me a sight as to where I am for, the Olympic trials. So yeah. I feel like my outdoor times will, determine on how good I would do for the trials or how prepared I am.
Okay.
Shelly Fraser-Pryce will be leaving track and field soon. It will be the end of an era. And I suppose your name, Kiara, as well as a number of other names, will usher in a new era. Do you think about that in particular? And are you excited by the prospect of leading Jamaica's track and field charge in the future?
Definitely, because I know sometimes you hearing the same names over and over. Sometimes you just want new competition. You just want new people. So I feel like, with this generation of young athletes and us competing against each other, pushing each other to go faster times, I feel like it just brings more excitement. It just, it makes you feel like you just want to compete against each other. It's just like a different feeling, like different ages. It's just new people coming in and new times. I just feel like it's just an exciting moment.
Well, we're looking forward to many exciting moments in 2021, Kiara, of course, especially can't wait to see NCs, but even more, can't wait to see that national trials final when Kiara lines up against Elaine Thompson, Hera, and Shelly Fraser-Pryce, Brianna Williams, and all the other super talented Jamaican women in 2021. Really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to seeing that bullet start inside the National Stadium. Again, it's been a while. We have missed you, and I'm sure everyone will be delighted to see the Queen of Alpha back in Kingston, Jamaica soon.
Thank you. I miss home soon. I miss my Alpha Academy. I'll be home soon, I promise.
All right, Kiara Grant, thanks very much. It was a pleasure chatting with you.
As you mentioned, start. Can you imagine that final and how many good athletes are going to be blazing out of the blocks? Brianna Williams has a really good start. So too, of course, Shelly Fraser-Pryce, the queen of starts, and Kiara as well.
Yeah.
They all have brilliant starts, so that final is expected to be absolutely electric.
You talk about the final, but the semi-finals will be extremely difficult, and it will be the case for a number of events at the Jamaican Olympic Trials in 2021. But since we're talking about Kiara and that women's 100 meters, you mentioned Shelly, who has a tremendous start. You mentioned Brianna Williams, who is super out of the blocks as well. We've seen on a couple of occasions where she's matched Shelly a couple of seasons ago. There is Christania Williams, who at her best is brilliant at the start as well.
Then let's talk about the finishers, of course. You're talking about Elaine Thompson and what she brings to the table. Who knows what...
Are you going to
Kevona Davis will bring to the table?
By the way, my apologies. We're talking about Kemba. She's a great starter as well.
Starter, right.
And clearly on course to run pretty fast in 2021 as well. That's going to be a cracker of a final. It really is going to be, no matter which 8 women get there. I pray to God that Kiara will be there. I hope she will be on the Olympic team. And how amazing it would be for your first national team to be the Olympics.
Yeah, it will be really something. Let's just hope that they get the starting right in terms of the officials.
That's been an issue, hasn't it? That's been an issue. For a number of years now, and it's gotten worse in recent years.
It's like the officials forgot how to do their jobs because of the pandemic.
Well, there was a recent meet at the stadium where I'm still uncertain as to what happened, whether the equipment was giving problems, whether the athletes were false starting and not being disqualified. But it was just ridiculous. It got so ridiculous that you had Johan Blake, Miguel Francis, Oblique Seville deciding not to compete. Asafa Powell, he eventually competed, but clearly he looked so frustrated. So yes, it is one of those things that could overshadow the quality of the performances when it comes to our national championships.
But I think it's because, athletes are just coming back to competitive track and field.
No, it's not, because this has been an issue for a number of years.
Not on this scale, though.
Oh yes, on this scale.
On this scale.
Yeah, let us not forget. We've had many of these issues, and there are so many names that you can call and remember the situations. athletes being disqualified, and then it is realized that it was the blocks was in the wrong lane and the wrong athlete was being disqualified. And we've seen it year after year. We've seen athletes halfway down the track and to the naked eye it looks as if it's a false start, but then it's deemed not a false start. You've seen incidents where there is no clear, no obvious infringement to the naked eye, but athletes are disqualified. So what I will say is at this stage, the credibility of the starters in Kingston, Jamaica is under scrutiny right now. On another podcast, we'll discuss this in depth about what should be happening come the national championships. But yeah, let's refocus this one on Kiara and really hope that she will be able to do something special and add to the great quality that Jamaica has in the women's 100 meters. And hopefully she can help us to finally win that Olympic gold medal again. In 2008, when we really should have won and defended our title, we dropped the baton. That would have been an easy victory. 2012, the US won and broke the world record. 2016, remember the US having to run by themselves in qualifying to get in the final and then winning from lane one. So although we've been dominating at the World Championships, we haven't won the Olympic sprint relay title since 2004. And hopefully we can turn that around in 2021. I think we've chatted too much.
As usual, you're a part of the duo. It's fine, I understand. I forgive you.
That's it for another edition of the Commentators Podcast. It was a pleasure speaking with Kiara Grant. Let's say thanks to Daniel Macaroni.
Oh my goodness.
Today's producer. Thank you very much, Daniel. And his last name is Adams, by the way. It's actually not Macaroni.
Yeah?
We just call him Macaroni. Daniel Macaroni Adams.
Oh boy.
And Jermaine Patterson.
That's his right name?
Broadcast
Patterson?
technician. Yes, I can't call his nickname on this podcast. On behalf of my co-host, Donald Oliver, I'm Ricardo Chambers. Thanks very much for listening to another edition of the Commentators Podcast.
Catch you soon.
Right in there as well. What a terrific race this is.
Huntington with the miss. Rafid scored goal!
This is their house. This is their stage. It's the stage they have dominated in recent years.